Greetings everybody, Arya here, and our look at Season 2 of Game of Thrones continues on with Episode 4, Garden of Bones. So, here we go. Beginning outside Oxcross, Robb defeats Lannister reinforcements in a nighttime attack at Oxcross. His band my lord Roose Bolton suggests flaying and interrogating the prisoners, but Robb insists on fair treatment, and is impressed by field nurse Talisa. Meanwhile, in King's Landing, Joffrey's cruelty grows. Hearing Robb's victory, he orders Sansa be publicly beaten, but Tyrion and Bronn defuse the situation. At Bronn's suggestion, Tyrion sends prostitutes Ros and Daisy to Joffrey, who forces Ros to beat Daisy as a message to Tyrion. So Lancel Lannister informs Tyrion that Cersei has ordered Pycelle's release. Tyrion tells Lannister that he is aware of his affair with Cersei, but will keep the truth from Joffrey in exchange for Lancel spying on Cersei. Clever Tyrion. Anyway, at Harrenhal, Arya, Gendry, and Hot Pie are brought to the ruins at Harrenhal, where the Lannister garrison, commanded by Gregor the Mountain Clegane, tortures and kills prisoners for information concerning the Brotherhood. Tywin arrives, ending the brutality and ordering the prisoners be put to work. Polliver threatens Arya, but she is spared by Tywin, who recognizes she is a girl and makes her his cupbearer. Good thing Tywin doesn't know who Arya actually is, so that's good. Anyway, outside Qarth, Daenerys receives word from Kavaro that the nearby city of Qarth welcomes the Mother of Dragons. Ser Jorah cautions that Qarth is located in the brutal desert of the Garden of Bones. At Qarth, 13 city leaders ask to see Daenerys' dragons in exchange for shelter. She asks that her people are tended to first, and the 13 abandon them to the desert. Daenerys swears vengeance should they not grant them shelter, and one of the 13, Zarazon Daxos, vouches for Daenerys' people through a blood oath, and they are allowed inside. Good. And finally, in the Stormlands, Littlefinger discusses the siege of King's Landing with Renly, and Marjorie rebuffs Littlefinger's questions. Littlefinger meets with Catelyn, enraged at the sight of him, and tells her the Lannisters want to trade Sansa and Arya for Jaime. As a gesture of goodwill, he brings her Ned Stark's remains. Renly and Catelyn parley with Stannis and Melisandre. Renly refuses Stannis' offer to surrender in exchange for becoming his heir, and is given until sunrise to reconsider or be destroyed. Ugh. At night, Stannis orders Davos to take Melisandre to shore in secret. Once ashore, Melisandre reveals she is, impossibly, in late-stage pregnancy and gives birth to a horrific, shadowy figure which disappears in a cloud of smoke. Ooh, scary. Well, anyway, let's look at the production of this episode, beginning with writing. Garden of Bones was the first of 2 episodes written by Vanessa Taylor, the season's addition to the writing staff. The script was based on chapters 27, 30, 32, 33, and 43, Arya 6, Tyrion 7, Catelyn 3, Sansa 3, and Davos 2, of George R.R. Martin's novel, A Clash of Kings. The episode introduced many significant deviations from the original material. One of the most significant affects the character Talisa, who is based on the novel's Jane Westerling, but is given a very different background and motivations. In the books, she is the daughter of a minor noble sworn to the Lannisters, while the show has her a foreign lady from the free city of Atlantis. The producers acknowledged that Robb's storyline is, quote, one of the places where the novels diverged pretty drastically from television. They felt that the book's approach of having him off-scene most of the time and portraying his deeds in the battlefield only from secondary reports was not going to work in the visual medium. Also, the talented magnetism that Richard Madden demonstrated during the first season convinced him to expand his presence and portray his love story on screen. Good idea. Other deviations include the early arrival of Littlefinger to the Tyrell army and his interactions with Catelyn. In the books, he arrives much later, after she has left. The merger of Melisandre's 2 shadow creatures into a single one, the Siege of Storm's End, and the character Sir Courtenay Penrose were dropped from the show, and having Tywin discover Arya's gender and make her his cupbearer. In the books, Arya abandons her identity as a boy and is assigned to work in the kitchens. Also, several scenes were created for the episode, including a scene with a sadistic Joffrey and prostitutes, and one in which Daenerys is received at the gates of Qarth. Now on to casting. This episode marks the first appearance of the recurring actress Una Chaplin. When the casting was announced in August 2011, HBO only credited the character as Jean, refusing to give any surname. Since there were several characters in the books of that name, this led to speculation about whom Chaplin would be playing. Eventually, it was revealed that the character was based in Jane Westerling, and by the time shooting began, she was renamed Talisa Mager. However, it should be noted that Jane Westerling and Talisa Mager are entirely different characters. In the novels, Jane is a member of the noble house Westerling, whose lands are located in the Westerlands. On a mission to take their castle, Robb finds out what Theon has done to his brothers, and Jane comforts him in his grief. Robb, not wanting to be dishonorable, marries her. Talisa, on the other hand, is a healer from the eastern city of Volantis, whom Robb meets on the battlefield. Additionally, Jane is not introduced until the third book in the series, A Storm of Swords, while Talisa is introduced in this season, roughly adapted from the series' second book, A Clash of Kings. Chaplin has read the original books and was already a big fan of the show before being cast. The new setting of Qarth is also introduced, and with it 3 roles cast among the 13, governing body of the city. Zarazon Daxos is played by Nonso Anozi. I apologize if I mispronounced that, but oh well. In the books, Zaro is a native of Qarth and is white. In the series, Zaro is an immigrant from the Summer Isles and is black. Many other traits of the original character, such as his homosexuality and constant crying, have been removed in the adaptation. Anozi revealed that he had auditioned for another role in Season 1, and HBO wanted to cast him, but a schedule conflict prevented him from appearing. The Spice King, played by Nicholas Blaine. The character has been created for the show, but he embodies the book's ancient guild of Spicers, one of the merchant factions that rivals Zarazon Daxos. Paya Pri, played by Ian Hanmore, who has no lines in this episode, but is present in the reception at the gates. Charles Dance returns as Tywin Lannister and is added to the main cast list and included in the opening credits. He had been a recurring guest star during the first season. The episode marks the first appearance of Ian White as Gregor Clegane. Clegane had been previously played by Conan Stevens in Season 1. White had previously played the White Walker seen in the first episode, as well as in the second season episode The Nightlands. Though White did not return as Gregor for Season 4, the role was taken over by Icelandic weightlifter Hafthor Julius Bjornsson. Sorry if I mispronounced that. He played the giant One in the Season 5 episodes Hardhome and The Dance of Dragons. Now on to filming location. Production for Garden of Bones continued to use Belfast's The Paint Hall Studios for all interior shots and the set constructed at the Lyribane Bay for the scenes of Renly's camp. The episode also introduced numerous external locations. The gates to Qarth were constructed in Dubak Quarry near Dubrovnik, on the cliffs over the Adriatic Sea. The scenes in the caves below Renly's camp were filmed at the Crescendon Caves, Country Antrim, and the set representing the huge ruined castle of Harrenhal was built near Banbridge, County Down. And now finally, staging and props. The closing scene with Melisandre birthing the shadow creature was shot at night, in a real cave and in cold weather. The scene was very taxing for actress Carice Van Houten, who had to be naked and scream loudly during the labor. For this reason, the scene could not be rehearsed before filming. To make Van Houten appear pregnant, the show's prosthetic artist Connor O'Sullivan prepared a fake belly that could be operated by pneumatics to simulate the childbirth. The creature was added using CGI. Maisie D, the pornographic actress who played the abused prostitute Daisy, described her experience with Game of Thrones on her blog. She wrote that her character was unnamed during the shooting of her first scene. The trailer was labeled Nubile Whore, but graduated to having a name later. The scene of her abuse at Joffrey's orders took a day to shoot, using alternately a real leather belt and a soft prop to depict Daisy being whipped by Ross. Ugh. So overall, I think this episode is interesting, and well, yeah, of course it does a good job at setting up characters and introducing new locations that will be seen as the show moves forward. So, yeah. So overall, I give Garden of Bones 3 Iron Thrones out of 5. I'll tune in next week as we take a look at The Ghost of Harrenhal. Ooh. So, until then, remember everybody, winter is coming.